We'll do a lot, we'll do a little. Sam likes to say. Right, so whip them out. Hopefully this will stop this from coming loose now, like it has been doing. It didn't run it for very long, you saw before. Total probably 5 minutes, if that. Yeah. Squeeze everything on this power hammer, all the bolts are about 4.8, which ain't no good. Replace them all for 8.8s. All nice and shiny. Okay. Job well done. Okay, so here's the oiling system that I've redone. So these are check valves. They're in there, so obviously it pumps the oil through on the downstroke, and then on the upstroke obviously the oil doesn't go anywhere. So it just feeds it as in when it needs to. Hopefully that's the plan anyway. These oilers you can just adjust needle. Drip feed oilers, you get them like a lathe, but much bigger version obviously. One of these I've taken the internals out, so it's just a tube, it's just a bit of tube. Weird fittings, obviously you have a 1/4 inch hydraulic fittings here, and I turned these male adapters to M12 because it's M12 that threads into the power hammer, so I'm just going to install that now. Don't think about making something, but for the sake of having them so close to it, I just thought I'd go with them. I'll Loctite them in though, just stop any leaks. Because that's how the oilers sit. I made a little brace to go across them just to give it a bit more rigidity so it doesn't obviously fall back in two. They're not obviously on tight, I've just hand wound them on. But I think the double washers and then sealing them with the Loctite should do a nice job. I did use PTFE, but it's not ideal. So that's what we'll do. I'll fix them in tomorrow. It's all pretty much ready. Just not quite happy with that tightening up. But guys, this kit that I used at Sam's the other day for punching the holes out for the bolts. I'm going to make some washers for these thingies, much thicker stuff, so that'd be cool rather than doubling them up. So I'll make them now. Out of the leftover rubber I've got for the base of the power hammer. Go to much thicker washers, so this should be nice for the job now. Made one that wouldn't work out so well, so just remade them. Just did it again. I mean, that one's not perfect, but it's better. It's much more in the centre. This is an awesome little piece of kit. I definitely need to get one of these. To find out Sam where he got it from. Probably a very old tool. Right, let's get these fit. Okay, so using them thicker washers, they've made them nice and tight. They've got a good amount of thread in them. So I'm going to Loctite them in now, and I've removed the washers, so it's just too thick. And I'll get these oilers fit, everything Loctited in. I'm a bit sceptical about putting Loctite on these as well, because no doubt these are going to have to come off. I'll just set it so we've got the distances right. Something thicker anyway, something a bit more sturdy. It's like 3mm and it's flat, so there's obviously no strength to that. Bit of angle would do, bit of 25, 30mm angle. Make it a bit more rigid. Because to knock these, obviously not that I shouldn't really be coming past it with anything to knock it. Just keep it a bit more rigid. It's definitely exposed. Looks cool though, doesn't it? Proper old, like 18th century bloody 19th Victorian steam power or something, I don't know. Oilers are in. Da-da-da. More anchor bolts. If you don't have anxiety, this will sure give it to you. It's like 5 minutes setting time, but it's probably not even that. I mean, it shouldn't be too bad today because it's a very wet day. So bolts weren't quite long enough, so I've just tacked on a bit of thread on the end, offcuts that I had. Get this set in here. Okay, a couple of washes. Yeah, the pitch change there, so you know it's bottomed out. A couple of turns on that. That's it. I was hoping it might turn a bit, but I'll just turn that fraction as well. Right, I'll do the other side now, guys. Don't know how much you guys have seen of this press. This is my third one I've built. Basically copied Coal Ironworks, their 12-ton press I think it is. This is about 20 ton. Exerts about 20 tons worth of pressure. Much more solid design than the original ones. Single ram, the other ones were a double ram. You saw the video, the second one, that was a single ram as well, but C-frame. Whereas this is like a H-frame. Quick change in tools, obviously. It's a 5 horsepower motor. The pumps are 22 gallon per minute, but that's at 2,800 RPM. This is at 1,500, so it's about 11. Obviously, the spool valve, double action spool valve. What I'm going to do is strip most of the bits off it now and give it a lick of paint while I'm going to be touching up my power hammer as well. I built this last year and I got it ready just before Christmas. Last year it would have been. But I use this for punching the eyes and the axes. You've seen obviously the tool, and I'll do like a more in-depth video, but I just figured I'd get a bit of a shot of it here. And this is obviously a Lynch that I made. So obviously my background is engineering, that's what I trained in. So you've got different attachments like a table there and then the big contact wheel behind it. You can see just made an axe grinding jig there. An old Denby drill that I've got to renovate at some point. That was taken out of an old smithy. So yeah, press. Big leg vise there, which I've got mounted off the concrete pillar. It's nice and solid. The mini power hammer that you guys have seen in the videos. So that's nice for little blades. I want to use that for like the wood carving blades. My coke forge that I built, obviously when I first moved. I mean, we built the forge to be fair. Me, Sam and his dad. Put all the concrete in. I did all the brickwork, the block work there, because I used to do a bit of building years back. It's telegraph poles for stanchions. There's my press, my gas forge that I've built. That's the ribbon burn. I've got a normal one, like a Ventry one, that's over behind me. I'm going to dig out at some point and make a new little simplified gas forge. There's a stone wheel that I've renovated that I've not yet used. I've restored it and then never even used it, so to dig that out. Yeah, there's my coke forge. Not been used it for a few weeks, so it's starting to seize up. It's just a lever for airflow. Not sure what else I've got to show you. So I'll give you a quick run round. Yeah, it takes a time. It takes a long time, obviously, because everything I've made. Obviously, a swage block stand that's currently got all my stuff on. Anvil, making the stand for that. All the brackets and tooling. Surprising how long everything takes. Right, guys, so I'm going to get a lick of paint on these now. Oh, sorry, guys, I didn't record that. I've made a complete mess with the hydraulic cord and that. I've just stripped this press down. So, obviously, the pump's off it. Spool valve, the ram's out. There's a bit of a pig to get out. Got a few jobs I want to do and a few mods, and I just want to get it painted as well while it's all apart. I need to decide the colour to do the ram, whether just do it matte black like the rest of them, or I don't know. Maybe spray it gold. Time with the power hammer. What do you guys reckon? Maybe a red. What I want to do on the front and back here is I've like cladded timber as well. Just looks a bit cooler. Maybe like some false rivets on it. Right, guys, I'll crack on. All right, so the power hammer is almost completely together now. This is all painted. I've just got to make this bracket again. We'll remake it because I'm not happy with that. Out with a bit of a thicker piece of angle. Fix this sign properly because you can't really tell they're not great. So I've got some twist rivets. Here's some fancy ones. So they're going to be. I'll drill them tomorrow to fit those. And I've got a drill here. Obviously, make that little grease port for the grease out, the bearing housing. And then the final thing is the conrod inside. But other than that, it's done. Oh, and a little bracket here. Because obviously I've raised it to make it more comfortable working height. That's quite high off the ground though. So I'm going to make a bracket that comes down and then sticks out and weld it on. But yeah, really happy, really proud of this. Something I wanted for a long time, 10 years or so. Really, really happy. And the press, obviously, I've given that a lick of paint. I've stripped it down, the tank's there, and the hoses. I've got the ram off, that's in the van, so I'm taking that home to paint it up. I'm going to make some covers for the front. And then the other thing I need to do is, I've got so much tooling. I need to make a bracket for the tooling. I think having it on the wall. And then the last thing I'm doing tonight is this chainsaw. I want to get this rebuilt, or start rebuilding it anyway this weekend, in the evenings. So I'm just going to give it all a good soak now, clean it all out, all the crap off it. That's the engine in there and the fuel tank. Just give it a good soak, scrub it, and then let it dry out and take it back tomorrow. Right, guys, I'll catch you later.